The FOSS Assessment System includes both embedded and benchmark assessments. The system helps create a classroom culture that supports continual student progress and a growth mindset. This video only overviews parts of the FOSS Assessment System, so be sure to read the assessment chapter to learn more. Embedded assessment measures student learning during instruction and provides students with a way to monitor their own growth. Embedded assessment informs decisions about future classroom instruction. There are several types of embedded assessment, such as performance assessment or notebook entries, which include a response sheet or an answer to a focus question. Teachers review student work using a process called the reflective assessment practice to look for patterns and trends about student understanding. This can be done by sorting notebooks, or more formally, using embedded assessment notes. If a teacher finds that student understanding is not at an appropriate level, they can use a next step strategy. Here, the teacher is using a next step strategy called critical competitor to focus students on using cause and effect to improve their evidence when responding to the focus question. The teacher provides two samples of student writing, one that uses cause and effect as their evidence and one that does not.
Here I have two students that wanted to support the claim that non-living environmental factors do affect living organisms. Each student had the same claim, and they both backed it up with evidence. What I would like you to do is I am going to give you each a copy of these two student responses. With your partner, I want you to read both students' claims and evidence. Then I want you to talk with your partner about which of these students' writing you think is stronger and clearer and has the best evidence, okay? And then I want you to talk about why. Why is that student's response stronger?
They sleep during the day when it is too calm. I just think that and just tells like, oh, this is a one cause and that's it. And this one like tells a little bit more about it than the other ones. I feel like.
Why do you think student one had the stronger evidence?
I think student one had the strongest evidence because they didn't just say why or like a piece of evidence, why do it affect it? They explain like a little bit of it.
Okay, can anybody say more? So she said they not only explained the effect, they explained a little more. What is that more?
I think they're explaining more because when they say borrow, for student number one, when they say borrowed, he explained more about the borrow when the animals are borrowing.
The tortoises burrow because when it's too hot or cold.
So they tell us why, or another word for that is the
Heat.
Yeah, so that's the cause or the effect? The cause, yeah, the tortoises burrow because it's too hot. So the cause is it's too hot. The effect is that the tortoises burrow. In a moment, you are going to go back to your desk. You are going to take a look at your writing. What I would like for you to do...
The teacher wants students to determine if they are using cause and effect in their own responses to the focus question by asking them to underline the causes and effects in their own writing.
Underline your cause in light green. And you're going to underline the effects.
Students can improve their responses by adding or clarifying their evidence using cause and effect. Benchmark assessments include the survey, eye checks, post-test, and interim assessments. The survey is intended to provide information about prior knowledge before instruction. Eye checks are tools that provide diagnostic information for the teacher to determine next step strategies to clarify student thinking. After students take the eye check, The teacher can record results and return the assessment to students without any teacher marks to use a next step strategy. Here, a teacher works with a small group of students to revise their thinking about water on different surfaces.
Remember when we did this activity where we used the droppers and we dropped water on 4 different surfaces? Yeah. What happened when we dropped the water on wax paper?
It went down. If we put like a lot of drops, it went like down.
When you just put a couple, what happened?
It goes down.
Okay.
If you tilt it, it goes down like a slope. If you don't, it just goes into a dome shape.
Or did we put a drop on like the wax paper or the foil?
It would start to bubble up. And if you moved it a little bit, and they would connect together and just make like a really big bubble. It also didn't absorb it.
The wax paper didn't absorb.
Didn't absorb. And what about this one? What did that do?
Absorb.
What does absorb mean?
Absorb means when the paper sucks it in for a good clean or something like that.
What surfaces do you think, out of those 4 surfaces, which one do you think is going to absorb the water? Out of these 4 surfaces.
This one. Okay, I'm gonna circle them.
Go ahead and circle the ones that you think are going to absorb the water.
It's literally all 3.
And I want you guys to add some of the things that we talked about in a different color. You read this, and then you said why.
Oh, this will not absorb because there is no space. It won't absorb because the concrete is stuck together.
The post-test is given at the end of a module and can be used to show student growth over time. Interim assessments measure 3-dimensional learning using open response items. These can be given at any time and help prepare students for state assessments. While they are not directly connected with a module, they do align with the NGSS performance expectations. The Investigations Guide indicates the placement of embedded and benchmark assessments. The assessment chapter describes the reflective assessment practice, provides general next step strategies, and provides directions for using the coding guides for benchmark assessments. The most up-to-date assessment masters, coding guides, and charts can be found on FOSSWeb. Students can take benchmark assessments in print or online using FOSSMap. See the assessment chapter to learn more about the FOSS Assessment System, including online assessments and how FOSS assessment and next step strategies can support students in developing a growth mindset.